Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and bishops who teach and rule well, who magnify the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. And to all the prophets and the teachers, beloved brothers out there, followers, who continue to endure and magnify the name of Yahweh, Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalom to you. The title of this lesson is going to be called The Lord's Angels Possess Firepower. And we're going to go into some scriptures to open up the deeper understandings in these powers that Yahweh is bestowing upon his men in this hour, incrementally, based on your obedience and the fear and reverence in which you hold near and dear to your heart for him. The first verse precept, we're going to go into the law of Deuteronomy 4, chapter 5 and 6, and it reads, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh Elohim commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which ye shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. From the implementation, from the foundation of the earth, these laws were sown into our nation, and we were supposed to always adhere to them, implement them, to add correction unto our nation first and foremost, and then distribute them throughout the lands. So that way the world would always prosper and stay in a state of righteousness. But because we fell to a low estate, we were parceled out to all the nations and kept us in bondage and sin because of our transgressions. So now as we return back to the covenant and to be hopefully redeemed out of this land, to sit in a seat of power, to uphold righteousness according to our laws, the whole entire world may be restored in righteousness and everyone can prosper. The second verse I'm going to go and grab is found in Psalms 147. Give me a second. Psalms 147. I'm just showcasing that the Lord's angels possess firepower, and the laws were supposed to be substantiated and given and distributed from the nation of Yasha Allah. Psalms 147, verses 19 and 20. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. So these laws were supposed to go to us so that way we could administer unto the nations in rulership, to be righteous judges, to separate the clean from the unclean, to show people how to eat properly, to correct behaviors that cause people to be corrupt in their lives. Moral compass is totally devoured at this point. Here we're in gross darkness. The whole world is in gross darkness at this point. So as we continue to level up, if you will, and put on these righteous garments and eat this whole roll, we are reestablishing his word within us. Revelation, the next verse is Revelation I'm going to start at verse 3 and stop at 6, and it reads, And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the Most High, our power of the earth. And if any man hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters, to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. This power, this authority that is coming down from heavens and being administered unto those righteous vessels, the elect, the men of Yasha'Allah, we will hopefully be put in a seat of authority to rule in righteousness. This is the call of the hopeful elect. This fire that is breathed out of the mouth is righteous judgment and rebuke and correction. To prove that, we're going to jump to Jeremiah. Oops, jumped over it. We're going to go into the book of Jeremiah to prove that that fire that is coming out of the two witnesses' mouths. We'll go into who the two witnesses is later on briefly. Jeremiah 5:14. And it reads, Wherefore, thus saith Yahweh Elohim of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. Because we're putting on righteousness and having a true understanding of it, we're going to be able to differentiate between deception and lies. And false truths, and rightly divide the word of truth to be able to dispel any of those inaccuracies according to the Bible that are being spewed out in the world right now, that has everybody in a confounded state. That fire is going to be a righteous judgment, a righteous rebuke. To compound that verse, we're going to jump into, praise be unto the Most High Yahweh. We're going to jump into the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 4 and 5. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips, and he shall slay the wicked. And the righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. In the beginning of this chapter, this is going into those righteous elect vessels that are having all these pure spirits poured upon him to receive the wisdom coming from on high, to be able to implement righteousness and judge the poor, reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the rod, and he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, the scepter, the rod of correction, like what was given to Moses. Verse 5, and the righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness. This is the righteous garments that are made, eventually made pure and white, acceptable unto the husbandman, our husband, Yahweh. We're going to jump into next verse, beloveds. Psalms 104. Psalms 104 and Psalms 104 and verse 4. I'm gonna start from the top at Psalms 104. Blessed be Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh my Elohim. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, pure righteousness, who coverest thyself with light, as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. We're exemplifying our Father. Verse 3, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Verse 4, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers, a flaming fire. These ministers, these holy priests that are putting on these garments and exercising righteousness with righteous rebuke, adding correction first to our fellow Israelite and then on to the rest. Verse that just came to me. I don't think I wrote that down real quick. Yeah, I didn't write that down. Jumping over real quick to Psalms 50. Psalms 51 and verse 13 real quick. It says, "Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee." So how do we strip sin, help remove sin off of these sinners? We cause correction so that way they can repent and turn unto the Father, so they can continue or begin their righteous walk with the Father. This is what the ministers of fire, burning fire, is going to be doing. Strong rebuke and correction. Come out of her. Don't do these things. Don't eat that. Put this on. Take that off. Don't dress like them. Don't celebrate this. This is why. You got to be armed with the wisdom and understanding to cause this rebuke to edify with salt, with long-suffering, meekness, having all the fruits of the Spirit, so that way you don't scatter the sheep and they go running into the arms of the wolf. Jumping back into this, the Lord's angels shall possess firepower. We're coming to the understanding that this could very well mean, strong, sharp rebuke with the mouth that the Most High is going to administer unto his righteous vessels. Praise ye unto the Most High Yahweh. We're going to go to Ezekiel 37. This is the prophecy of the valley of dry bones when he awakens his elect, the two houses, right? Ezekiel 37, his two witnesses. Ezekiel 37, 16 and 17. 16 and 17, he says, "Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph and the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions, and join them one of another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand." Once the nation of Israel, Yasha'Allah, is now come together, we will hold that. The hopeful elect will hold that that scepter, that rod of correction. Jumping over real quick to verse 22 of Ezekiel 37, he says, "And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all." Because we were broken off after the Assyrians had came in and scattered the northern kingdom. All that was left in the kingdom of Israel, if you want to call it that, is the southern tribe, Levi, Benjamin, and Judah. And then the Roman occupation came in and destroyed those and scattered them, and eventually that moved into latter prophecy, which we are coming to a close very shortly. Right, so this is the one stick, right? The one stick. Oh wait, okay, the one stick that will be in his hand. That we can jump to Revelation 2, 26 to 27. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So this is power unto those elect men that endure unto the very end, and he will give you that rod of correction and power to cause correction unto the nations. So you are now being crowned and seated in a position of power given from on high. Again, praise ye Yahweh. We're going to jump into the Apocrypha book real quick. We got one. And this is coming out of 2nd Esdras chapter 13. And this is talking about the collective 144 alongside with the Yahushai. 2nd Esdras chapter 13 verses 4 and 5. And it says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of a number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So this is the formation of the elect coming together to now cause righteous judgment. And when they hear righteous judgment, it's going to burn them. You know, they're going to be insulted. They're going to reject, and so on and so forth. Jump down to verse 10. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as if it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. Verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire and flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude, which he prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. These are accusations. These are wrongful accusations put upon righteous men. They're going to call the hopeful elect men all kinds of names under the sun, whatever, to call fight them with unjust judgments. That's the only way I can really describe it, is that there's going to be false allegations and accusations saying that these men of the elect are the reason why so and so is happening, and try to persecute us, right? They're going to try and persecute us. Speaking of persecutions, jump to Matthew 3 and 10. Oh, I got that out of order. No, I'm going to just jump over. Matthew 10. I'm in the wrong one anyway. Give me a second. I'll jump to Matthew 10. I got my precept out of order, but I'm going to add a correction real quick. Matthew 10, speaking of false accusations and all these other things. Matthew 10, verse 16 to 22. And it says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Ruach HaKodesh of your Father which speaketh in you. So he's telling you that because of false allegations and you dispelling lies and bringing forth truth, people are going to hate you for it. He tells you that you're going to flee from one place to the next because they won't receive your word. And if they don't receive your word, dust off your feet and keep it moving. Go to the next, whatever mission he has you on. But because of the words that they do not receive, even our own people were rejected. Praise be unto the Most High Yahweh. So I'm going to jump back over to Matthew 3 and 10. And it says, and now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore any tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. we're going to look at this word axe. He says, and now also the axe is laid to the root of the tree. What is that axe? Go with me real quick to Jeremiah 51. 51 verse 20. 51 verses 20 and 21. And it says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. And with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. These are pastors out here. And with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen. And with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. He's not talking about he's going to give you an actual battle axe and you're going to go out there bonking people and breaking them into pieces. No, this is strong rebuke. This is correction. He's going to use a righteous nation, like the first verse I brought out in Deuteronomy 4, 5, 6. He says, this is your wisdom in the sight of nations. You're going to go and add correction. You know, you're gonna dismantle this this false reality people continue to swim in love in. So that was Jeremiah 51. I'm gonna jump over to Hebrews. Where's my tag? Here you are. Hebrews 1 and 7. And of the angels he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. Priests, the priests who are putting on righteousness, they're going to have this zeal, this power to proclaim his word. First and foremost, it's his word, not our word, but he puts his word into those righteous vessels' mouth via the Ruach HaKodesh, the spirit of Hamashiach, which also in that you receive the spirit of prophecy. You need the spirit of prophecy to actually understand, read, unblock, and put it all together. You need that. Otherwise, you're just reading like everybody else out there. Jeremiah 23. Damn, my shoulder. Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23 and 9. Is not my word like as fire, saith Yahweh, and like a hammer that break the rock in pieces? We just read that we're gonna use the battle axe, whatever, to break this person in pieces and that one in pieces and this one in pieces. This is to dismantle all the hard-heartedness on them, that stony heart, you know, because he says he wants to give you a fleshly heart, and you can only be converted and reformed after repenting, after being rebuked and chastised and added correction to, so that way you can come out of that defiled state, so that way you can start to be washed and be made clean again, to be received, because he will not take a dirty vessel. He will destroy it, because that's what he said he's going to do, you know, to these forgot what he said. Something vessels. Was that it? I think that was it. What he said about the vessels. I forgot. But I pray that this was edifying, and I pray that this may add to your arsenal of understanding, so any stumbling blocks that are in your path may be removed. And if you needed a new brick in your path to lay the foundation to get that much closer, I pray that whatever came out of this video, firstly and foremost, gives him all the glory. And Barakatah Yahweh and Barakatah Yahweh Shai for the understanding, and which much love and gratitude and thanks do we give to Abanawa Yahweh. And I pray that this epistle was edifying, and I pray that he continues to use me as he deems fit, if I am worthy to serve him and keep him. And until the next time, Shalom.